But I believe by end of this week, they will also have finished on that process. We are now heading to the parish level. At the parish level, we are going to get the leadership from there, and then from there, we shall go to the sub-county, then the county, and then the district, and then eventually the national delegates conference. Allow me, on behalf of the Democratic Party, tell members of the Democratic Party and members of the general public that take this process seriously, because out of this process, we are going to get leaders that are going to run the party for another 5 years. That's why we should take these processes very seriously. I would also wish to encourage those that intend to contest for any position, regardless of their level, please get involved in the processes such that you get used and life becomes easy for you. I wish to state it here, ladies and gentlemen, that Democratic Party this week, before this week ends, we shall issue out a notice calling for applications for expression of interest of those that wish to hold positions at the National Executive Committee. I wish to bring it to your attention that I am among them. And this time round, I am going for the National Vice President. I am only praying that you people, since I've been with you, please be my agents in the media, because that is possible. And so before this week ends, we shall have that notice issued. Office of the Secretary General shall issue out that notice, and people will begin to log in their requests or applications. The second issue is about the pastoral letter that was written by letter written by the Episcopal Council. I do not know whether you have had a chance to look at this letter, but the letter precisely summarizes the state in which our country is in. It brings out the state where we have been and where we are going. So as Democratic Party, we welcome the pastoral letter of the Uganda's Catholic bishops. Now in that letter, there are basically 7 issues that are highlighted. The first one is the danger of instability. The letter is addressing that if we don't do something as leaders of this country, we are headed for an instability. And that would be very, very unfortunate. When you look at leaders from political parties not agreeing to talk to each other, or if they talk to each other, then that could be by circumstances. Just a few days ago, I saw a photograph of Honorable Kyagulanyi, Ssentamu, and Honorable Mpuuga sitting together. I think they were sitting together by circumstances. But if we have a country where leaders cannot sit down and reason together to plan for the country, then probably there would be an instability. And I want to agree with the contents of this letter. The second issue is economic inequality. Economic inequality, this is manifested by the gap that is between the rich and the poor. This gap continues to increase. I want to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that we have those that work in government that do not bank their money, that do not put their money in the banks. Because I mean, it becomes too much and they fear that they will ask them where the source of the money is. Trust me, in Uganda here, we have rich men and women who are not noted by Forbes, the World Book record. But when they are richer than those ones that are mentioned in that document or in that book. But because they don't have the chance to put their money in the banks and also trace the source of it, they are left out. But in actual sense, they have a lot of money. We have officials in government who invite these people that deal with insects to go and fumigate the money in their offices, I mean in their rooms where they have kept the money. Now this is the country that we are living in. We can't bury our heads in the sand like ostriches and say everything is good. No. The truth of the matter is we need to have a conversation. We need to find a solution that shall realign our country back to the track. The other issue is corruption. This is juxtaposed with what I have just talked about. The letter highlights now corruption. Corruption is a vice that we must deal with. And if we don't deal with corruption, definitely our country is headed for doom. Sectarianism, this is sin. So, as a country, we need to sit down and deal with these issues that were highlighted. In fact, we are lucky that this is coming from a religious leader. This is coming from religious leaders. Now, when religious leaders guide, we believe they are not partisan. They look at us as citizens of the country. They don't look at us in the divides of political lines. Now, they have spoken. It is now our duty as leaders, at whatever level, to conglomerate ourselves together and have a conversation. The political violence is yet another issue. And the injustice. We have seen rich men, because they are connected, grab the land of others, take the properties of others, because they are connected. Now, as a country, that is the state in which we are. And I wish to agree with the content of this letter. Now, what is the solution? Democratic Party is solution-oriented. We already started on it, and we've been advocating for this for over 70 years. Democratic Party is a political party that will never fail to talk to those we disagree with. History can show that. And even now, as we speak, we talk to various members from various political parties. We talk to members with whom we do not share the same opinion or political view. For us, we believe it is okay. We shouldn't encourage the act. Recently, the guilty president of Makerere University took a photograph with the president. And that one caused a lot of media outbursts, especially from the foot soldiers. I mean, it is a responsibility of us, the leaders, to guide even the foot soldiers that look, regardless of the disagreement in political opinion or otherwise, we should talk. There should be no point that we shall fail to talk. That should be our message to the foot soldiers and others. We are going in for elections. Elections present tense moments. It's my humble appeal to the leaders of this country, regardless of the level you are at, whether you are in a political party, whether you are in a church, at every level and in any organization, political and apolitical. that it is our responsibility to guide those that we lead. We shouldn't let them guide us. If we let them guide us, then we shall have lost the gist of leadership. Being a leader means you are able to see what others cannot see, or you are able to see before others can be able to see it. Now, if we allow a chance for those ones that have not yet seen what we can see to dictate and guide us, definitely we shall lead this country into turmoil. It is time to begin a conversation. As Democratic Party, we believe in dialogue, in talking to each other, dialogue and reconciliation. We have a country that is fragmented, or that is divided into over 65 ethnic groupings. And we are not lucky, because the British, before they left, they started the divide and rule. They disintegrated us further along those lines. So we are having a country that is being held together by the bonds. And some of these bonds are the religious bonds, because religion actually does not determine, does not first ask you which tribe are you, where do you come from, what language do you speak. You can find a Muslim in Palisa, where I am. You can find a Muslim here. You can find a Muslim elsewhere. And you can find a Catholic and other people of other faiths in all directions. So the first bond that is holding over the 65 tribes that we have, ethnic groupings that we have, is religion. We should embrace it. And we should take seriously what this letter states, because it is coming from the true source and one of the bonds that hold us together. The other thing that holds us together is the games. You say things like games and co-curricular activities. These ones, if the country really invested a lot in it, it joins us, regardless of our ethnic groupings. Now, if we continue the way we are a country that is seated on a volcano and it's about to erupt. How can we be in a country when the scheme of God forbid it doesn't happen? What if the president fell dead today? You know the problem or the challenges that we would face as a country? I mean, these are scary questions, but we need to ask these questions. And I think it is time for us to ask these questions. What if he fell dead? Okay, the Constitution says that the Vice President takes over. Are we sure that the Vice President can take over and still stands and runs the country, just like this one Ssentamu is doing? Do we really have this? So these are tough questions that we should ask ourselves. And I believe, and strongly so, that the time is now for this country to ask such questions. We need to have a conversation. I have always said that, look, the president is aging. And naturally, when we age, we get retired or we are retired. We retire or we are retired. Assuming the president is retired, we have a comprehensive plan to have his replacement and in peace, without destroying what has been built or the investment that we put in the country. I do agree entirely with the content of the letter. Unless there are questions, let me pick the questions in English